Out in the vineyard today. It is the 30th of April. Yeah, and so there's actually quite a bit of snow still around for approaching May 1st. The vineyard's pretty frozen, but we've got some pots out here that have been uncovered, and so far we've looked at Foch, Topmore, Valiant, I mean not Valiant, Frontenac, and the Frontenac's right there, and that'll be important because we actually got 3 buds, it looks like, to survive on that over the winter. There, it's very short though, so it's still got a lot to do before it gets any size where we can actually see it. But anyway, we're looking around. So Frontenac had 3 buds that looked good. Foch and Totmore had 2. Alpha maybe had 1, which is disappointing. These all had, the Frontenac didn't, but the others had a lot of wood that appeared to form last year, and most of that wood wasn't any good. This is one of the first Montana riparias that we got. This is, anybody familiar with Valiant, this was gathered. This is the male parent of Valiant here, and it doesn't do very well. I don't even know if it got anything. It might have hardened off one, but this here is a female collected in the same area, so still suspected to be hardy to potentially 70 below, although these are grown in a river valley where the snow would tend to collect, very, very narrow river valleys, so the snow would tend to collect it on here, but still has potential for it to be 70 below hardy. This, we just cut into the tip here, and so this piece would have gone on here, and then there was another piece that stuck out about 3 or 4 inches more. So I cut this off. This is, you probably can't see that, but it's green. It's green, and that's the 6th bud out. I mean, to think that anything survives 6 buds out is surprising. But anyway, I've had hopes for this one. It's a female. It's SD 62-8-160. But yeah, all this appears to be at least green. I'm not sure the buds are good. They look good on the outside, but hard to say. And then down here, I was concerned because the bark was shedding off, but that's okay because that's previous year's growth. This is 2-year-old wood, so it will shed bark. The shedding bark is not a sign that it's ruptured the cambium. It actually feels pretty stiff and strong, so I'm suspecting that at least several of those buds should push out this year. It has bloomed in the past, but I think that was only off of wood that was vegetation, I should say, that was grown partially in the house. So if this flowers, which I don't think it will, the bottom one, I know that the bottom bud on these I don't think actually has a flower cluster in it, and that bud looks like it might be damaged, and that one might be damaged. So it probably won't bloom this year, but it has bloomed in the past, so there's a potential if we get it out in the ground. It's still in the pot, still in one ground pot. And it's anchored into the ground too, so I'll have to dig it all up. But yeah, so that's, we call it Montana 160. Probably one of the most promising looking vines we have at this point. So anyway, the other ones, we'll look at the Gewürztraminer real quick. It looks like it's pretty much toast, but it usually gets damaged, but not necessarily all the way to the bottom. So we'll see how it looks here. It looks pretty sad. Trying to be out here before everything starts to thaw. It froze again up here this morning. So what we've got on Gewürztraminer is this is all the shredded bark. This is no good here. That's all shredded back, but we do have potential, and this is covered under leaves, but obviously that October storm did a lot of damage to things. Okay, so we've got one bud there and another bud down at the bottom that they're not shredded. It looks black down here, but that's probably because it also feels wet. So we could have one bud or two buds at the bottom of this that are actually good. And it's still frozen in. The leaves are still frozen in. I mean, there's still 2 inches, an inch and a half down to the pot. So I suspect that we have probably one bud at the very bottom there that is good on each of those shoots. And that's all you need. Well, it isn't, because the first bud is generally not fruitful on this one, I believe. But anyway, would love to cross that with 160. So anyway, we will continue looking around. But yeah, that's pretty good. Gewürztraminer. Minus 28.3, I think, was the coldest out here this year. Most of them were severely damaged, like I said, by the October freezing rain, heavy snow event. There was a tremendously hard 1 inch thick ice layer about 2 inches above the ground, and that really damaged a lot of the smaller vines. So and it also damaged the Wild Treasure, I think. So I'm going to try a different approach to Wild Treasure this next fall and see if we can get anything to survive again. Anyway, that's it for today. Update from this late spring, still waiting for the snow to melt time. Robins are here though. Robins arrived yesterday, so that's a definite sign that things are going to warm up. Talk to you guys later.